In our last segment, we covered 4 self-promoting strategies, and now we're going to pick up with ingratiation strategies, attempts to make others feel important to gain their favor. And the first one is flattery. Flattery will get you everywhere, is the expression. When others compliment us, it makes us feel like they have good taste, right? Examples are giving compliments, smiling, nodding, asking for advice, even mimicking nonverbals. So when we truly like people, we tend to unconsciously mimic their nonverbals more. So we tend to nod when they nod, smile when they smile, even more closely match our posture and gestures to theirs. But when this is done consciously and intentionally to gain another's favor, this is an example of flattery. DeMera was very flattering to his staff, colleagues, and superiors. The second ingratiation strategy is name utilization. There is no word that draws our attention more than our own name, right? Remember the cocktail party effect? When others remember our names, it makes us feel important. It makes us feel special. Salespeople are taught to learn clients' names early on and to use them often. DeMera was adept at remembering and using people's names. The third ingratiation strategy is projecting modesty. Sometimes making people feel important involves portraying yourself as small in comparison. People who downplay their successes are liked more than those who boast. Examples of projecting modesty are downplaying your achievements, acting like they're no big deal, and or transferring attention to others, such as saying, it was really her talent that made this happen, or one of DeMera's favorites, I could not have done it without your help. Self-monitoring is an interesting one. Tailoring your expressed beliefs and or behaviors to more closely reflect others, tailoring them. So we have a tendency to like similar others. High self-monitors, though, attempt to appear more similar to others than they really are. Did you ever know of a politician who speaks very differently about their beliefs when they're speaking to a pro-life versus a pro-choice group? So, how do you score on self-monitoring? This was actually questionnaire number 2. Questionnaire number 2 of your package, or the questionnaire you took earlier in this lecture, is the self-monitoring scale. Among North American college students, the average is about 10.3. How did you compare? Are you about at the average? Or are you a low self-monitor? Is your score much lower than that? Or much higher? Are you a high self-monitor? Other facts about high self-monitors like Fred DeMera. 1, they are adept at accessing what others want and tailoring their beliefs and speech accordingly. 2, they're more likely to rise to leadership positions in business. But 3, they're less likely to be trusted in interpersonal relationships. Sometimes ingratiation attempts can backfire. Name calling can be overdone and become transparent. I've noticed this with some salespeople, right? They use your name so often, it becomes really transparent and irritating. Modesty can also be overdone. So claiming that something like a Nobel Peace Prize is no big deal is likely to be seen as arrogant rather than modest. The effects of flattery are so powerful that research shows that people tend to fall for it even when it is transparent. However, it's a stronger effect if it appears genuine. And the most powerful of all, if your compliment is relayed by another source, So the target of the compliment hears it from another source or overhears you saying it to another without your supposed knowledge. Those would be more powerful than coming straight from the person. So ingratiates strategically arrange this at times. Another one of what are called the ingratiates dilemmas, besides avoiding transparency, are multiple audiences. So recall how high self-managers tailor their behaviors and speech to reflect those of their audience. So ascribing to different views when addressing pro-life people than pro-choice people. What happens when these audiences are mixed? They tend to take one of two strategies. The first is to moderate their opinions, to appear to be more middle of the road, and or simultaneously send two different messages on different channels. An example of this would be making a pro-life statement to the pro-lifers that are in one corner while privately winking at pro-choicers in another corner. Okay, so ingratiation strategies. Here's a good review question. This comic is an example of which of the four? And the answer is flattery.